of psychological or behavior. Psychological pattern of behavior. No? Now, kaning niya siya, pattern of psychological and behavioral symptoms found in women living in battering relationships as a result of cumulative abuse. Sa ato pa, dili lang ni siya kaingon, the violence has been there for an overnight or an instance. Once lang. Cumulative nga abuse. So, series of violence. Kaya ang iyang definition, no, refers to the pattern of psychological and behavioral symptoms found in women living in battering relationship. Now, in the ang balaod mangod sa VAUSI, wala ni siya nag-introduce og kaning mga gitawag nato nga justifying circumstance, no? Nga pwede maka-eliminate sa criminal responsibility of the woman in case he kills the husband, simpa ko lang, no? However, kaning battered woman syndrome, recognized ni siya sa balaod as some sort of a justification why you resort to the taking of the life of an abusive partner. Now, ang Supreme Court ni require nga, you cannot simply allege nga the perpetrator, ibutang taha, the wife because of cumulative abuse, series of abuse, wala na siya kaagwanta.
Yan, gipatay.
She wants out from the battering relationship, but she cannot, wala siya strength enough to move out. To the point, nga niabot na ang boiling point, nga napatay niya yung husband. The law acknowledges nga this can be utilized as a justifying circumstance, provided nga, there will be, no, a sort of kanang psychological test on the part of the woman nga katong nahimo na siya nga di na siya ang victim siya but who turns to be siya ni patay man, so siya na ang accused, so pwede niyang i-invoke as a justifying circumstance. And in this instance, the wife or the woman wife or even the live-in partner, patang live-in partner lang siya, or any person nga naa siya sexual or dating relationship with somebody, can invoke a justifying circumstance which will result to non-culpability, both criminal and civil.
Kaya usually mahahappen ani tingali mahadlok sa there's fear for their lives nga mo ni nabuhat nila.
Yes, kasagara ang gud ana kana bang gitawag nato nga because of continuous nga battery, mura na lang magug-imo na lang siyang i-equate sa sad-an man sad siguro gud ko, or maybe I cause I ask for it, I cause the commission of the violence. Iyang i-justify. Nga siguro wala ako nagtarong, siguro kulang lang, and I cannot please my husband kay I have not been that perfect wife. So ang tendency iyahan ng angkunon, instead of kay she blames herself rather than blame the relationship or blame the husband or elsewhere, no? So mo na nga mapuno, there is a cumulative, no, or kanang ibutang ta nagkaipon-ipon na.
Yung ibuto lang.
Nibuto lang, niabot na sa boiling point, and that's it. Now, ang kaning battered woman syndrome, you cannot find it in the revised penal code, which is treated as a justifying circumstance. But naalang ni siya diri. Very peculiar ni siya, ani nga balaod, is recognized here.
Only in this law and
only
no
in this
other
law. Yeah, because ang law mismo refers to battery.
Kay
Or a battering relationship.
prior to this naman to ikuan katong Supreme Court
People
case.
versus Hinosa.
Yes.
Yes.
Nangiguwas ni na
Dito na siya na-identify, no, nga there is a need to revisit the law. The proposal of the law, unang na-appeal ni
Na-appeal
siya
siya.
because of that case. Sa una, katong sa People versus Hinosa, bara pa to siya na mitigating.
Ay, katong
na mitigating
passion
circumstance pa to.
obfuscation man siguro to. If I'm not mistaken.
A crime of passion.
Yeah.
Passion or obfuscation ka na sobrahan na. That she dragged her husband outside and then she killed him in front of katong ilahang mga neighbors. Yes.
To katukuan man sa to kaning cumulative
Violence.
violence.
Kuha na gito siya kanang nagpuno-puno na ba?
Na.
Yeah.
But atong panahon na wala pa man gyud ning balaura.
Wala pa gid siya.
Yes. Wala pa
And
sa to gi-identify.
Yeah, because of a very strong kanang kani atong mga very active nga women nga naglobby good for the enactment of this law. And it's because of that case that they really pursued nga this law would be materialized.
Unsay lain man nato mga updates pa with regards to this since at the time sa inception sa anti-vowsy nga law?
When you say update regarding the remedies, you mean?
Yes,
nga,
yes.
So far, ang sa akong giingon, ang katong barangay protection order, there is a mandate under the law that it should be given with dispatch, or it should be treated, no? And it should be given preferential attention that if one is filed, it should be resolved within the day. Nga not really ipadapin, but of course more i-suspend sa tung uban.
Okay.
And the
Unahon
same
to
treatment
siya.
must be given also to the filing of a petition for temporary protection order and permanent protection order. The courts are also ordered to give it preferential attention nga it should have a priority in the schedule. Yeah, because upon filing of a TPO, it should be resolved within the day man ang order. Of course, without you have to take into consideration also that after the TPO, naamasad ta sa PPO. PPO, before it could be issued, must have a hearing first. Unlike in TPO, once it's filed, summary, lang siya, review or assessment, and then it could be granted or issued. But of course, provided nga it's meritorious. Otherwise, pwede po na siya nga dili i-entertain. Now, as I have said, in the event there is a violation of the TPO or the PPO that is subject to contempt, and it should be filed, the motion should be filed within the same court that issued the remedy of TPO and PPO. However, with respect to BPO, in case of violation or non-compliance of the barangay order, then you should file a complaint with the first level courts, the FTC, the MCTC, and the MTCCs. Okay.
Aside sa remedies fiscal, sa labor aspect, naamsa ni siya additional leave na gihatag di ay sa mga victims. Yes.
Sila 10 days.
10 days leave with pay.
Yes, because at least they're given the chance to pursue, no? Whatever is the remedy na they're going to avail of.
Either kaning mo visit silang attorney or sa
By the way,
defender.
ang jurisdiction nato, Ani, is ang sa VAUSI, if there is a family court designated in a particular place, then you file the petition for a TPO and PPO with the family court designated in a place. Just like you file a criminal complaint or the information is filed with the family court designated in a particular place, if there is one designated. In the absence of any designation of a family court, then you file it with the regional trial court or the second level courts. Now, as I've said, ang ato ang criminal gid nga cases is subject to kuan man na siya kanang where the incident happens. However, with respect to VAUSI, ang kaning mga offended party or the victims have the option to file it at the place where they sought refuge. Let's say she is from Cabanatuan, but she wants to avoid the continuation of the battery or the battering relationship. Nihawa siya or nilaya siya, and she sought refuge in Mandaue because she has relatives there or she is from Mandaue. Then she could justify nga nganong gi-file niya sa Mandaue by stressing it or stating it in the complaint that she sought refuge in Mandaue or she is now a resident of Mandaue.
I think this is a very nice feature
This
sa
is
law.
actually a departure from the usual nga ang atong criminal is territorial in nature.
Kung asa nahitabo.
Yes, kung asa nahitabo. But in the absence of any allegation that you sought refuge in Mandaue
General
and the
rule
incident
will
happened
apply.
in Cabanatuan, of course, katong territorial jurisdiction nga gi-require sa balaod in criminal cases should apply.
So para ma-suit siya sa exemption, kinanglan
Kinahanglan na ay explanation.
ngano gi-file
Nganong
dito.
gi-file in Mandaue or nganong gi-file elsewhere other than the place of incident.
Kaya ikaw, if you're abused, you would want to go somewhere else
Yes.
where you
Oh,
feel
na safe.
safe.
The one
True,
thing,
true.
yeah, the one
Layo
thing
sa
that
abuser, di ba?
the one thing would come to your mind is really for your safety and protection, so you go somewhere. You don't stay there kay dali ra ka magitan or dali ra ka maadtuan.
And then kanisad na law, naasa ni siya feature no na even if there are certain acts mentioned, even if the crime was committed, the violence was committed 20 years ago, pwede gyapon kuan. Ang prescriptive period niyan, taas-taas.
Taas-taas yung prescriptive period. It's 20 years. Kuan magud siya kanang gitagaan og dako kaing leeway ang mga oppressed or the victims kay sometimes magud usually people would prefer to suffer in silence because they don't want to people to know kay personal magud nila nga kinabuhi. Labi na siguro nga medyo kanang shameful ang mga acts nga nahimo. Yeah. And it has also the effect of involving the children nga maluoy pod usually ang labi na ang mothers ang tendency is to protect the children. So they will not come forward because they want to protect their children. They don't want people to know. They don't want to go to public because it's for the protection of the children. Labi na nga maafektahan magid ang mga bata basta kay it's the parents who are involved.
Can you give us some advice to our viewers nga those who are thinking of filing a case? Unsa may mga words of wisdom nga atong mahatag nila?
Now, I can say that when you are oppressed and when you are subjected to violence, of course, you deserve to have justice. You deserve to I think be out of the pit you are in, no? Now, if you have children, then you can always weigh things, and there are remedies, there are counseling that may help the children understand why you have to resort to filing a complaint or why you have to resort to some sort of destroying the family, destroying the relationship, because the effect would be if you are in a battering relationship, the relationship is already destroyed in the first place. So there's nothing to destroy anymore because it's there already. Now, if you decide, no, to protect yourself, if you decide to salvage yourself, it does not mean if you want out from the relationship, you are already that's inimical to the welfare of your children. It would even be helpful because children should not be able to or should not be allowed to witness a continuing violence. Okay, dako kay na siya maafektahan sila psychologically and even in their growing up. So, dili ka dapat mabalaka nga if you are pursuing you're also on the side of destroying your relationship. It's not. Kay naaman tay mga daghang remedies that can help the children understand by putting them through a counseling, explaining them. Anyway, mudako man sad na sila later on kaysa kana bang late na in the day nga nag-antos ka and then you let your children suffer also because they are there with you, diba? And they could witness. So, it's better siguro nga, of course, dili ka magdali-dali, but you have to weigh things out kung unsa gyud ang imuhang importante, saving your children and yourself, or saving the marriage, like just putting up a face nga okay ra mo, you're still there, but deep inside, it's not.
Mark, nahutdan na gyud tag panahon. Then I would like to thank my partner here, Attorney Harve Abella, Fiscal Ratilla, for being here with us tonight. I hope dili yun nila. Favorite man yun kay nila to si Fiscal. Grabe ka favorite.
Salamat kayo, Attorney March and Attorney Harve.
Thank you, Fiscal.
And I hope nga we were able to share to the public these special or the salient features of the law and mas masabtan nila and then mas ma-encourage nga to ang mga kababaihan or kinsa man diha the parties nga medyo nag-suffer under domestic violence.
Kaya kita din higanhan gyud na to encourage itong viewers nga to use this law properly and not to abuse it, diba?
But this is not actually to make a threat to our men there. Kaya daghan ba itang responsible nga husbands and responsible men, no? Sa atong community. It's not that we are making threats here. It's not. We are just making the people or the public aware.
Mo gi point ani nga show, it's for the wise usage, diba, of this law.
Okay. And also for us to know nga dapat ang balaod is for the benefit of those nga suffering, but it should not be abused. It should not be the end all and be all nga solution nga maski ginagmay lang and then it's already
maayo.
Dili sa gid na siya maayo. So we should go by merit. Nga naagyoy basihanan.
And Harve, any parting words?
Sadly, wala naman kita oras karong gabi nagpasalamat kita sa CCTN o kang Fiscal Ratilla for gracing our show once again, and she'll be back in our future episodes sa ato ang kaning show, Partners in Law.
Yeah, all the time para mas makatabang and we can remain or stay here, no? Para natin continuing good nga interaction nato sa ato ang viewers.
In behalf of the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association, I'd like to thank our viewers for staying with us tonight. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Attorney Harve.
Thank you, Fiscal.